Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Triple H is currently in charge of WWE's on-screen operations, and he often steps up to become the voice of justice. While GM Nick Aldis was busy with the brawl between John Cena and R-Truth this week, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed invaded SmackDown. They intervened in the King of the Ring tournament match between Randy Orton, LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, and Aleister Black. Their uninvited intervention affected the result of such a high-stakes showdown, as they unleashed havoc on the megastar. They even attempted to injure Knight by pushing him from the ropes and attempting to break him in half with a devastating spear. Fans have therefore been speculating that Triple H might step up to punish the two stars for this reason. While Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed's actions are reprehensible, it is highly unlikely that the WWE CCO would punish them. Before the SmackDown invasion, LA Knight also paid a visit to Raw to cost Breaker his qualifying match for King of the Ring. Well, WWE did not take any major actions against the Defiant One in that case. Therefore, it would not make any sense to punish the two Raw stars, given that they came for revenge. Triple H also rarely takes part in the on-screen stories of WWE, making any direct punishment from him even more unlikely. LA Knight is currently involved in a rivalry with Seth Rollins' faction, and WWE showcased that angle on SmackDown to enhance their storyline. Triple H has been building up a huge rivalry between Seth Rollins' faction and LA Knight lately. It all started on SmackDown before Money in the Bank, where the Visionary attacked the megastar. Since then, Knight and Rollins' group has been involved in back-and-forth action on the roster. WWE might continue this rivalry for the next few weeks, at least until the upcoming PLE. Reports also stated that the creative team had plans for a match between LA Knight and Seth Rollins for Night of Champions. It looks like the company is currently heading in that direction. Night of Champions is set to take place in Saudi Arabia later this month, and a match of this magnitude would be perfect to add star power to the show. Knight is a huge babyface on the roster, while Rollins is currently the biggest heel. A match between the two would be quite intriguing to see. This feud has the potential to kick off LA Knight's much-awaited rise to the main event scene. However, it all depends on what Triple H has in store. Only time will tell what the future holds for the megastar. Triple H is once again at the center of intense backstage rumblings after a major incident shook the foundations of WWE SmackDown this week. While the details remain partly under wraps, sources close to the situation have indicated that two of the company's top stars may be in serious trouble following their involvement in what has been described as a completely unplanned and unsanctioned altercation during the live broadcast. The WWE Universe is still buzzing over the events that unfolded, but the bigger shock may still be to come, as internal whispers suggest that Triple H, now at the helm of WWE creative and talent management, could be preparing to issue stiff punishments in response. The chaos reportedly began backstage, but found its way to the main stage just moments before the scheduled main event of the evening. While WWE's production team attempted to cut cameras, some fans in the arena managed to capture footage of a scuffle breaking out near gorilla position. That footage has since gone viral on social media, showing what appears to be a physical and verbal altercation between two major WWE superstars, both of whom have been prominently featured in top-tier storylines leading into Money in the Bank. While their identities have yet to be officially confirmed, several insiders are pointing toward two names, both former world champions, with a history of volatile behavior on screen, and reportedly off-screen as well. One name being heavily speculated is none other than Kevin Owens. The prizefighter has long been known for his passion and intensity, often walking a fine line between brilliance and boiling over. The other name that has surfaced is LA Knight, whose meteoric rise in WWE has come with just as much swagger as it has backstage tension, particularly in recent weeks as creative directions have shifted and some egos have reportedly clashed. If these two stars were indeed involved in the incident, it would mark one of the biggest off-script disruptions in recent SmackDown history. Sources say the incident erupted following a heated disagreement over segment timing and last minute creative rewrites. With the stakes high for upcoming premium live events, both men were reportedly frustrated over perceived slights and miscommunication that may have affected their positioning on the card. One source described the situation as a ticking time bomb that finally went off. Several officials tried to de-escalate the situation backstage, but things reportedly turned physical, causing enough of a commotion that Triple H himself had to step in after the show went off the air. What makes this incident even more concerning for WWE management is the timing. With Triple H working to solidify WWE's new era under the TKO banner and maintain discipline amidst growing brand visibility, any perceived breakdown in professionalism can't be taken lightly. The game has earned a reputation for being fair, but firm, and he's unlikely to let this slide without action. As of Saturday morning, WWE has yet to release an official statement, but insiders believe the company is conducting an internal investigation into what happened and is weighing several disciplinary options. Among those options could be fines, temporary suspensions, or even the removal of one or both superstars from the Money in the Bank card. That would be a significant blow to the ongoing storyline plans and fan expectations, particularly since both Owens and Knight are rumored to be involved in high-profile matches or ladder participation at the July event. If punished, either man could also see a short-term push stalled, a potentially major development given how quickly momentum can shift in WWE. Triple H's decision will not only be scrutinized by fans, but also by locker room talent who are watching closely to see how WWE's top brass handles one of the most public in-house disputes in recent memory. This isn't the first time WWE has faced discipline issues backstage, but in recent years, there's been an increased emphasis on professionalism and backstage culture, especially with Triple H taking over the creative reins following Vince McMahon's departure. WWE is now a global publicly traded company under the Endeavor umbrella, and maintaining control over the locker room is crucial to preserving its public image. Some believe that this could be a turning point in how WWE addresses behind-the-scenes conflicts. Triple H is trying to run this like a real sports organization now, one anonymous talent stated. There's not much room for these kinds of blow-ups anymore, especially when it spills onto the live broadcast or derails a storyline. Others feel this could be a spark for a compelling work-shoot-style storyline if handled carefully, similar to previous instances where real-life conflict was turned into on-screen magic. Think CM Punk versus John Cena, or the Edge Matt Hardy Lita love triangle saga. However, insiders are cautioning against assuming this is a work. One backstage agent reportedly called the situation very real and very serious, and added that there was real concern that it could have gotten worse if cooler heads hadn't prevailed. WWE security reportedly had to separate the two stars, and both were escorted out of the building by the end of the night. Whether this was an isolated moment of frustration or a symptom of deeper backstage issues remains unclear. Fan response has been mixed. Some are calling for transparency and want WWE to issue an official statement, while others are hoping the situation can be integrated into storylines to add a layer of realism and unpredictability. Meanwhile, both Owens and Knight have remained quiet on social media, fueling speculation and creating a vacuum that WWE might look to fill in a controlled narrative when they're ready. Either way, the clock is ticking. Triple H has not shied away from disciplining stars in the past. He famously suspended and fined several wrestlers during the NXT days for unprofessional conduct, and more recently, he took decisive action during the CM Punk-Drew McIntyre situation that got out of hand earlier this year. That history indicates that if punishment is coming, it could be swift and public. And given the current buzz surrounding this incident, WWE may very well need to get ahead of the story before more rumors spiral out of control. A possible announcement could come as early as this week's Raw or next Friday's SmackDown. If Triple H does choose to address the matter on television, it could be a strategic way to regain narrative control while demonstrating to the locker room that WWE leadership is serious about discipline. There's also speculation that this could lead to a segment where both superstars are brought out on camera and reprimanded in front of the WWE universe. Though whether that would be real, scripted, or somewhere in between is anyone's guess. Adding further intrigue to the situation is the involvement of other major WWE names. Several top stars were reportedly nearby when the altercation took place, including Sami Zayn, Austin Theory, and even Paul Heyman, though it's unclear if any of them were involved or attempted to intervene. Some are even speculating that Heyman may have been recording the segment leading up to the incident, and that production footage may exist. If so, WWE could have the option of reviewing it internally, or choosing to make it part of an upcoming documentary or storyline reveal. Regardless of how WWE decides to move forward, this situation underscores the high-pressure environment that exists backstage, especially in the weeks leading up to major events like Money in the Bank. With creative storylines constantly evolving and superstars competing for limited airtime, tensions can quickly escalate. Triple H now finds himself in the unenviable position of needing to send a message, both to the involved parties and the rest of the locker room, without derailing key storylines or alienating the fan base. As always in WWE, the line between reality and fiction is razor-thin, and only time will tell whether this moment becomes a blip in the radar or the start of something even bigger. Could Triple H use this real-life heat to fuel an angle that culminates in a blockbuster match? Could either superstar face a legitimate suspension that reshuffles plans for Money in the Bank? Or will the situation quietly disappear, resolved? Behind closed doors in the time-honored tradition of what happens backstage stays backstage, one thing is for sure. The WWE Universe is watching closely, and whatever decision Triple H makes could set the tone for the rest of the summer. With the stakes higher than ever, and reputations on the line, all eyes are on WWE's chief content officer as he prepares to render judgment. Whether that comes in the form of punishment, promotion, or something else entirely remains to be seen. But the fallout is guaranteed to be must-see TV. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe. Our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.